Hey guys, my name is Cidiac and welcome back to another episode of Woodville here in City Skylines 2. Last episode, we implemented our very own football stadium as well as expanding the downtown area of downtown Redwood. Now, by doing this, we have also increased the population size ever so slightly, and you will start to notice that unemployment is 22%. It's something that I shouldn't really be focusing on, as it's going to fluctuate as we kind of build up in general anyway. But with numbers that high, it's making me realize that we do need to provide more jobs, and I kind of need to go back to the heart of this series, and that's creating industries based on the wood industry. So what we're going to do in today's episode is we're going to try and create a few more jobs processing wood into exports. That is the sole focus of today's episode. So today we're going to place down some more forestries, we're going to build some more industrial buildings that produce wood product, and I don't know whether to get another kind of paper factory down. It does seem to work wonders with money making capabilities, and it also does provide quite a few jobs, so everything is going to be beneficial. So before we get into it, I just want to say, if you are enjoying the series so far, then make sure you smash that like button down below, subscribe if you are new, and I've got one question to ask you right now, and I want you to give me your honest opinion in the comment section down below. Airports. Is it too soon for a small regional airport? Let me know in the comment section down below, boys. Let me know right now. But the first area we're going to work with is this gap here. We have a large space within this area. I don't really want to build like another community or a little town or anything like that, because I just kind of feel like it's a little bit too close. I don't want to put any more pressures on the roads that we currently got. It's perfectly set up for some forestry areas. So we're going to kind of map out all this area in general first. I might do around our utility section a couple of industrial buildings. I could do like a small little industrial park over here, which kind of would feel like in the right spot because of how industrialized this area is going to be. And we'll figure out if we can implement a paper factory anywhere else. So first things first then, I need to sort this out. Also, I keep forgetting, but I need to sort this junction out, but I'll wait until it's rush hour so I can see what the problems are. We've got to come back to that, boys. We've got to come back to that. We cannot forget. So, first things first then, boys. We're going to get our gravel road, our dirt road right now. And we're going to create a couple of little roads coming out, which access a couple of little forestry areas that we're going to be working with. So I'm going to bring this road out to about there. And then we'll do our usual little left and right. And then we'll do another one. We'll do a smaller one, not sticking out that far, but just about there. And we'll go this way for a change on that one. So two little gaps there, pretty much replicating what we've got over on this side, but it should be able to build one big one there, a second one here, and maybe a third, potentially four. I don't know how they're going to play out. I'm not too sure yet, but let's build our first one and see how many jobs we can pretty much get from it. So if I build you facing this way and we build this going, oh, no, undo. Oh, hello, there we go. There, and there. And we have to turn the anarchy on so I can go outside of the region. So we'll come away from this gap section a little bit. Now, we do have a path there that I'm not sure what's meant to be happening with that. I think it's meant to come up and over and leading to this area here. So we'll kind of have that in the back of our heads, as that's something that we're going to be working with. And then run this going round now. This is interesting. I don't know fully how far to take this. So if I just turn off snapping, and let's just say I'm going to utilize this area here, and that's as far as I'm going to take it, which means I'm going to have to go around all the little land masses, the little streams that run through this brand new forestry area. But if the more I maximize it, the more jobs I could potentially get coming from this. So running around the Recon right now, and I'm not too sure how far I've got to take this before we head back. Actually, I'm going a little bit too far maybe. So if I put the snapping now back on and then bring it back to there and then in, that's our first one. That's actually quite a large building, isn't it? It actually is. So if I do another one this side now and bring that down to here, I think we'll definitely go down to this section. And I reckon I'll stop about there. I'm going to run directly up like this. And that gap there will be for a third one implemented in just there. So running this now down. It does help to turn snapping off. Now, am I covering this area up? I am. I am going to be covering up. So this will become quite a large forestry area right now. I'm not going to do too much in the way of this section. And this should produce quite a lot of forestry goods. So I'm going to bring it to about here. Leave it there. And then we run it all the way down. I run it all the way down here. I'm going to run it all the way down to here. And I'm going to bring this... Oh, I mean, to be honest with you, I could just fill that area up and make it a part of it. There's nothing stopping me actually doing that, to be honest with you. There really isn't. Right, into there, going down, and then run this going round. As long as I come to the edge, and I don't want to go too close to the road network. And then bring this round. So this might be the biggest one I've got in Woodville. I don't know how I've now managed to make this the biggest forestry area yet, but it's just turned out to be that. It somehow has literally just turned out to be the biggest forestry area. Which, you know what? Scrap this. I might as well. There's no point now me going, you know what, boys? Let's add a third one in. I might as well go the full distance. I might as well go the full distance and squeeze this whole thing in. Right, straight down to there. Let me do a couple of rough little cuts here. And bringing you right up there. And then we can just then slightly fine-tune it. There we go. Right, they're huge. They're our biggest ones yet. That's slightly a little bit wild, isn't it? So we've got to add in the water and sewage stuff. So apparently it doesn't connect, and I can see why. So that should create our connection. Yep. And then just here to there. That should create the connection there. Yep. Now this one provides up to, at the moment, only 3 employees. It's only just got its water. And that one's only got 1. So let's just give that a minute before it settles down. Damn, they're huge, aren't they? But it creates the buffer between places that causes traffic, which is the main thing from this. Now, we'll come off this road here and we'll build a small little industrial area. It's not going to be too big. But first, let me just question how big the paper factory is. Okay, that's way too big. That's way too big to squeeze there, so we'll just keep it small industrial to begin with. And we'll come off with a alley road. We'll use the alley road just to kind of like re-establish that this is going to be such a small area. Right, bring you down. I mean, I could also get them connected up with the extension of these roads. Or I could just pretty much keep them, you know, apart from the area. If I just bring that out and go down this way. If I bring this going down this way. Because I'm going to swoop that road just leading in. And then we'll build few and far between industrial buildings. So I'm creating like an industrial parked area. So I'm going to bring you out to there. Oh, no, I'm on the bendy wendy, aren't I yet? Alright, bring you to there. And then bring... I mean, I could bring right to the end to there. And then am I connecting this up, or shall we just keep it separate so the traffic is, you know, away from it all? I think so. So I'll bring you up to there, and I'll bring you up to there. And that ends a nice little area. It looks like the letter F, doesn't it? Weirdly. Right, I'll probably end up eventually key walling this area off, so we'll kind of keep it open like that. It should have... Yeah, it's going to have all the power and water. There's not going to be a problem there whatsoever. I don't think there's going to be... Hold on. Is this even connected? Hold on. Has this not been connected the whole time? Our sewage treatment? Are we importing? Oh my god. Guys, this whole time, we have not been utilizing our utility... Oh my goodness me. I feel like an absolute buffoon. Right, that's now connected. The power's connected, isn't it? We're not importing. No, we're not importing anything. But we were importing water. Now we're not. Now we should be exporting. Oh my, I feel like an idiot. Don't want to talk about it, okay? I don't even mention that in the comment section, okay? Don't even say anything right now. Right, let's get some factories now in. So like I said, I don't want to go absolutely ridiculous. But I do want to have some decent sized ones in a few little areas. So this is how we're going to build it up. I think I'll keep it off the main dragger road there first. That'll be the most obvious thing to do. Do a couple of nice tasty ones here. And do some smaller ones there. And then do a nice chunky boy. With a smaller one there. Do another chunky boy. There we go. A couple of smaller variants here. Okay, scrap you off. And then we'll put you in instead. Throw you in there. And I think that maybe might be enough. Now, obviously it will create traffic, but it's far enough away, and they will have to commute here. Now, how many jobs does this area provide? So 60 in that building, 250 in that building, 130 in that, 64 in each of these, 32... And then with all of these over here, you can then start to see there's about at least 500 people going to be working in this area. At least 500 people. So public transport would be a really good idea. I don't have any trains leading over here at the moment, but I could create bus routes. Now what I could do is I can create a bus route from over here to Sycamore Woods, and a bus route from here to... What would be the easiest one to get to? Would it be the bus stop? Where's the bus stop over here? The bus stop just there, and then they can hop on a train. That would maybe be the obvious approach. So I'll implement a small bus station, and if I dropped it here, that connects to there. I don't know actually if I like the idea of that there. I'm actually going to delete you. And I might just implement it within this vicinity here. So if I had... Actually, how big is the building? Right. So if I had a road maybe from there come up and did that, right? A bit bigger than what I need it to be. Oh, it's a little bit... It is a lot bigger than I need it to be, actually. If I put that there, and then delete you, rejig that again, and then straight down. If I add in the extra bits, the services building, can I put that sideways? Gives me a little bit of an opening there for something in the future. I don't know what it would be, but, you know, I've got that option. I can then work with this. So what I want to do is also make it walkable. Unless I have them stop there, but also come up to do another stop further up and then head back. Obviously, as well as making it walkable, walkable is always the better option at the end of the day. And if I ran you up to there, leading into there, I could do a nice little connection here, which is pretty sweet. So that makes that little section there a little bit more walkable you know, there's only so much you're going to be able to do anyway in general. Right, so if I got then some bus stops down, so let's say I also implemented one and I could do it within the car park here. So if I was to drop you in there, and then all of this is walkable, right? Would you argue that this is walkable? Maybe I do one there and then there. And then that leading out. And we'll make it go directly to the stop. And the same for that one. It's just direct routes is what it is. It's direct routes. So we'll start at the station. And it will go directly over here to this station. Right, so we'll come in. And then we'll make it go out and then go this way first. And up to there. Back down. Do I make it pull back in again? I'm gonna, because some people might want to just get back to here to hop onto a different line, maybe. So the first two stops could be for this bus route. Bit funky, I know, but that should do what it needs to do. And then do another new one, which will pick this one. Do we have enough spots on this one? Yeah, we've got one more spot available. And then just repeat the same process. There's no need to overcomplicate it, just making it efficient as we can. And because we're separating the lines coming into here, it kind of then enables us to see where the traffic is. Alright, up to there, back down, into here, and then all the way back. Simple, easy. You could argue effectiveness, maybe not too much, but it gives them the option. So some people will use it, and every person that uses it is one less vehicle driving here, which is the important thing all about this. So those two new lines, 11 and 12, we don't need that many buses on. So I'll reduce it to 4 to begin with on that. We will reduce it to 4, and we'll do the same for the other one as well. Reduce to its minimum number, and I can always add to it if needs be. Now, where's my bus depot? Because we clearly are not going to have enough buses for all of this. We clearly are not. We already got the thing over here complaining about not enough buses. This is the bus depot over here, isn't it? Yeah. So 45. We could potentially squeeze another building in, but that's now taking away more and more areas from what we've got set up over here. Would it be beneficial to add another depot in? Potentially. But I've also got to wait for these buses that got spawned out that I've now taken off the line to go back in before I spawn the new ones. So we're going to have to wait a mo, aren't we? There's a lot of traffic here. These guys are really struggling to kind of exit this area, so it might be a good idea to add in... Right, do I elevate that little section? I'm not too sure if I should have elevated that section or not. But that should allow us to at least... Let me do an asymmetrical road leading out here as well. Right, this feels very bulky, doesn't it? Maybe I picked the wrong type of road here. Now, let me sort the lane connectors out here, because I feel like this is all going over the place now, isn't it? It really is. So, remove all U-turns, all unsafe turns. That's a dedicated turn that way. That's dedicating that way. That goes straight ahead. There is traffic lights. Let me turn them off. And at least they now have a dedicated right turn for themselves. There is a lot of vehicle traffic coming through. There's no way around that, unfortunately. Ooh, we just got the pub area. Nice. Ooh, another pub. Oh, let's go. I wonder how we unlock those. I'm not too sure. But like I said, it then enables us to filter them all out with relative ease. And once it's now all updates, because I have kind of completely jigged this junction, we should rock and roll. Do you reckon it's worth having like multiple lanes here? But then again, they're going to have to merge at some point as well, aren't they? Right, no issues, no issues, no issues. Right, do we still need buses? We've only got 45 there, so none of them have gone back yet. So there's going to be some lines without them. No one's really complaining, unless we have the perfect amount of buses. Unless we do, but I have a feeling we don't. But where could I put another bus terminal? I mean, I do have this industrial area over here to work with. Why don't I just throw it in over here? That's a good idea. So another bus depot. So if I was to implement it over here, I reckon we could come off one of these roads. So I reckon this road here. Just come away from the main run first. And how big is it that I can implement? So if I was to pull it, for example, there. Because what I like to do is I like to build perimeter roads around buildings. I don't know why. It just kind of feels nice. That by default provides 25 buses. So do any of them come out of this? If none of them come out, then we had the perfect amount. We had the perfect amount by the looks of it. That's kind of hilarious. That really is. But I've got the option now to add more in and extend if I really, really want to. So that works out really well as well. So yeah, nothing around is doing anything different. Nothing really is showing me that I need to add any more in. We've got the perfect amount. So that adds a few more connections. I'm hoping that's kind of improved the area over here. And, oh, we've unlocked the medium petrol station. We're unlocking quite a few things lately, aren't we? Now, this junction here, which I know I have to upgrade and change. I feel like I know what to do with this, but I want to wait for the traffic, and it normally comes in the morning. It's currently on the evening right now before we can implement that in. Now, we've got additional industrial buildings over here. Now that they've built a bit more, I'm wondering if it's an ability for me to maybe add in a few more buildings here and there, just to kind of maybe, again, entice a bit more bulkiness. Not too much, because that's when the issues kick in. But in the little nooks and crannies, I can throw something in at least. And then hopefully we'll get away with it. Nice. I think we should also, as well, put an area around this. So obviously we're going to call it, obviously it is our utility area. Don't you know, let's not get it wrong here. It is our utility area. So what do we call it? Guys, if you can give me some name suggestions to what we can call our utility area, that would be really good. It just allows me to see how many jobs are currently available. There's 1,200 jobs available here. I don't know if that's including the jobs from this, which only 14 employees. This one has 127. That one's only 14. That's only 16. Have I got to give them time to grow a bit more or something? Holy moly, that is low for how big the actual building is, isn't it? It does seem that. It does seem that. Now, would I need to bulk this road up? There is a potential I would have to do it, but we'll wait in the morning where everyone arrives to work. Now, luckily for us, we did upgrade this junction in the past. So now as a lot more people want to make that right turn, there's 1,000 people that will now want to go in this direction. So making the right turn or going straight through. We've got dedicated roads, but we'll now start to see a little bit more stress in those directions. So we'll see if this actually upholds in the direction it's currently going in. So that would be really, really interesting as well. Is there any other issues? How is the junctions over here that we upgraded? They seem to be flowing smooth, but again, it is the middle of the night, so bear with us. And I think we should finally get this road connected all the way up to here as well. Now, the benefit for them, I'm not sure what the benefit will be for them, actually, the more I think about it. Now, do I get it connected to this road? Or this road? Or do I do a split? Where would that run? If that ran straight, what if you want to go that way? Then you can take that route, couldn't you? So I reckon this could be more beneficial as a detour the long way round to get over here. So I think I'm going to come off... I think I'm going to come off this road here. So, selecting you, and we'll go straight to there. We're going to pick a point where it does bend. So if I went there and then, just come off there. Come off there-ish. Delete. Oh, the large... We're unlocking loads of signature buildings lately, aren't we? Holy moly. Right. So that is a... one... Oh, no. Seniac boy, you've got to put a bend on it, fool. Let's not forget the bend right now. So that's a 110. Okay, do we not want to do a 110? $102. Where's my bend? My snap. Sorry, not my bend, my snap. Right, we'll just go the full distance. We'll go bam, and then bam. Let's just keep it real simple there. Boys, where are these signature buildings coming from right now? Why am I unlocking so many? What have I done to be this foolish? Right, is there anywhere that I can see why I'm unlocking so many? Does it tell us our stats? So, stuff we just unlocked is this. What, we just got it, did we? Was there no, like, reasoning behind it? Okay. We'll see. We'll see. So, an extension of the road right now. I'm not sure if anyone will use it, but it gives me more access within this vicinity to do stuff with it. So, we will see. Maybe it leads up to here where there could be like a harbour area or something like that. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Right. Now we've got the traffic on this junction. So let's just kind of see it right now. You can see it's mainly because all these vehicles leading out try and filter into the one lane. And what I'd done in the past was, I mean, the trees don't help, do they? I added them in 2 lanes and made the right lane here be able to go straight on. But they do get caught up with people turning around the roundabout. Now, there's only so much we can do to kind of fix this. There really is. But I'm thinking if I get rid of the roundabout, by doing that, it allows me to now naturally be able to play around with the lane connectors. So before I do any like slingshot road stuff like that, I'm going to kind of manually do this to give myself a little bit more control. So if I get rid of all the unsafe, all that jazz, and what we do is we dedicate and have you only make the right turn here if you're going to the right. Okay, dedicated. Not much more we can do about that. Separate all of those. And then for this, I think it's a case of, yeah, it goes that way. This is your straight on and to the right, which I think will work. Going this way where it gets a little bit interesting right now. You've got a dedicated left. And then we'll make you go that way. Yeah, that's fine. And then this is all directions. That's also fine as well. Unless I don't allow them to go left or straight, because it will create unnecessary crossovers. So I'm trying to reduce as many crossovers as I can. So I can just allow them to make a right turn only here. Right, so without doing anything then, let's just see how this unfolds. Because now they've got uninterrupted service, but they can only still use one lane. That's the other downside. It still only filters them to one lane, but at least it's uninterrupted for a large extent. And the only time they'll have to stop or crisscross, if a vehicle from this way wants to go to the right, they have to kind of cross the lane. But it does then filter on the vehicles. So they're constantly now moving. Granted, they've got to filter into one lane. So if I opened up this to make a second, so then they could theoretically utilize both. But that middle lane there will get caught up and it does slow down these guys coming in. But it allows me to filter them out quicker, which is also another benefit. So Swings and roundabouts in many ways, isn't it? I mean, the roundabouts, they weren't working in our favour. I am now filtering a lot more vehicles on, which then puts a lot of pressure there. So let's just get rid of that second lane, and I am making them then focus on the one lane, but it doesn't cause the backup on that side. So it'll be interesting to see what happens on the next day when there is no traffic, or when the traffic just starts. But then coming home, we could then experience the same issues with them coming home then, because they have to go through the same problems. So is this better than the roundabout? Personally, I don't think so. I don't think so. Yeah, it's going to be a tricky situation in this. It really is. Unless we force them, this is the other side as well, not to cross over. So for us, you can't cross over. That's your straight turn there. This one, you can't cross over. You have to go straight ahead. But it just funnels them down to the next junction. These guys can't cross over. You've got to come from a different direction. So that's going straight across. You know, it doesn't work like that. You know what I mean? It just doesn't work like that. I could say that that can now go straight like this. So then these guys coming from that way have to go this way around and exit that way. And then vice versa. But it just causes more pressure on this junction. So it doesn't work like that, unfortunately. So let me just put this back to what it was just doing. Bam, bam. And then we'll see what the traffic is like when they're on the way back in. Because it could be that the roundabout, we just have to suck it up and maybe add some additional connections. But as far as I'm aware, there was no issues over here, by the sounds of it. Are people utilising this? There's no passengers waiting at the moment. Anybody getting on and off? Or there's some people getting on there? I mean, they wouldn't really be getting on and off coming back in this direction anyway. It's just giving them the option to do so. Right. Okay. Very good. Have you now... Oh, 34. Okay, these buildings are slowly now getting the employees. Right. So, with the minimal jobs that I did add, I've managed to reduce unemployment by 5%. That's fantastic. That really is good. That really is good. Now, with this road leading in and it bending round, if it was to go straight ahead, we could squeeze in another paper factory over here. Now, the paper factory, does it produce pollution? It does, right? Only very minimal. So if it was here, it would push the pollution over there, which there's pollution there anyway. And we do have the stops there for the buses to get on and off, so we might as well implement such a feature. So from here, if I was to run straight and we bring it to about there and then cut across. And how big is the building? Do I need to push it back a little bit further? I mean, I could push it a bit further to where it's like here. That wouldn't be such a bad idea. Nah, we'll go here. We'll push it just to there. So the building in question. And I'll make it go more that way slightly. Should work. Right, delete, delete. And make this go round. Very simple and easy to do. I could probably now argue that this could fill this gap up a bit more, unless I implement another one over on this side that kind of goes through all the little nooks and crannies. So we'll keep it as it is, a direct road leading out, but more importantly, it's provided 500 jobs. So last thing I'm going to do here then is add in some parking around the facility. So how big do we go? I could implement something on this scale. Which is amazingly glorious. And then bring a little perimeter road going around. Because I find, like, perimeter roads are, like, ways in which you can, like, really finish off an area. And then, obviously, we'll create some walkability because I have a sneaky suspicion the car park could be utilised for people working over here. And you could argue over there, but they've got their dedicated car park over there in general anyway. So, more parking facilities. And we need to implement a few little car parks around here as well. So, something a little bit longer. These are the wrong styles. That's the right style, but that's a little bit too big now at this point. So, what we're thinking of here? Oh, no, that could work. I don't like that. You're never going to win, boys. You're never going to win. You're never going to win. See, that's like a nice size, but it's just way too small. Right, let's just go with these smaller ones then. So, I reckon along here would be pretty good. Invalid shape? What do you mean? Don't need to throw some anarchy in right now to make you work? So that provides 16 parking spots. Not really a lot. But would that encourage more people to drive here, though? I mean, they could also park in there and walk as well. That's not a problem. Let's see how quickly that gets filled up more than anything. Because a couple of car parking spots over there, or cars taking spots there. That's taken almost all the jobs. So from 17, now we're down to 15. So we've taken 7% off unemployment in just this minimal additions. These minimal additions. Right, I was too late to see if that was going to be an issue or not. But the traffic's not there at, 11 PM on the night. That's either a good thing or a bad thing. I'm not too sure whether that was a good thing or a bad thing yet. Not too sure, boys. Not too sure. Now, it could see that we start to get an increased pressure on these junctions here with more traffic trying to lead over there. Again, I've seen no indication, so I'm not too worried just yet. And could we get away with a little bit more zoning? So maybe a little bit more commercial. I am just thinking all jobs at the moment. We'll do a nice strip just here. Nice strip just there. Is that going to be one big building? It actually is, isn't it? And those signature buildings, because we did unlock quite a few commercial style stuff. So we do have like a slightly bigger petrol station now. A medium and a large. Even the large looks, well, for me, feels kind of small. What's the medium one? Does the medium one fit in here? It does. That's a nice little spot there for it. That provides up to 12 jobs. Right, let me get back to it. So we've got the large petrol station. Do we have any spots over here? I think I'm going to throw a large one just here, opposite the shopping supermarket, sorry. Right, they're now starting to slowly head out, by the way. So let's keep our eyes peeled on this. I'm sure we had another supermarket, or I could be wrong. Maybe I was mistaken. I'm probably mistaken. I'm sure there was like another supermarket, but it could just be me. The things came so thick and fast right now. I could barely keep up. It's a lot of like UK style buildings, isn't it? It's all like pubs that we've unlocked. The bookstore. I'm not sure that building is there. Wealthy stuff. Yeah, it's all pub related stuff, isn't it? But the petrol station's pretty good. Does get dropped off and sells petrochemical stuff. So I'm going to quickly just glance at this right now, because we're going to see a brand new day starting of everyone leaving with this slightly updated junction. I do feel like we need to implement another form of connectability to this road than just heavily relying on this one. So it's currently about to become 4 AM, and we should start to see them arriving shortly. While I quickly just wait, I'm trying to see where other connections could be and rely. I mean, I know they're utilised down here in this roundabout. Yeah, we've only really got 2 connections leading in. I mean, we do have other forms of public transport. Public transport solves everything if you get it right. And that's if you get it right. I do have some other ideas up my sleeve, but I want to see what we can do here first. Because we did implement a couple of river crossings. I can maybe have like a little tram line running over here and have like dedicated runs for that. But, you know, it is what it is. It is what it is at this point. So, 6 a.m., sorry, is probably when it all kicks off. And that's when things get a little bit exciting. So, any moment now. It is constant travel back and forth. It is a very, very busy area. And we're about to break the 6 a.m. window. Which we should now start to see more vehicles making their way down here, which feels the same at the moment. The junction's working. Again, don't be too worried about a little bit of backlog. That's something that I've always got to remind myself. But you can now start seeing more and more vehicles are now flowing out, which is causing a little bit of issues on and with this junction here. I mean, there shouldn't really be any crossings, thinking about it. That's something else we got to solve. Shouldn't have any crossings, should be free-flowing. So, the argument is, I've kind of fixed the backlog coming out. I've just created a new form of backlog, is the only downside to it. Now, this doesn't help with them backlogging here. You could maybe widen the road leading all the way in, and then they kind of merge a little bit later on. So why don't we try that then? So I'm going to need an asymmetrical road here. We have to upgrade you. And it's got to be a bridge. There we go. Down to there, and then this becomes 2 lanes. Becomes 2 lanes, but then you need like an asymmetrical going the opposite way, don't you? Which is a 5 lane, which is then that. But then is this too much at this point? You know what I mean? Is that becoming a little bit too much? So that should flow that out with relative ease, as you can now see. That's completely gone. Which then stops the backlog there and the vehicle slowing down, which gives these guys here, which had a little bit of backlog, time to funnel out. So maybe that was the right thing to do. Maybe that was the right thing to do. Right, let's slightly sort that out. And I think that now would have fixed it. It's just what happens with them coming back in on the evening, which then changes everything. Because you got quite a few vehicles flooding in, but then they get caught up because I've kind of made it where they're no longer the priority. But as of right now, it seems to be okay. I'm not liking that dip here, though. Alright, raise you slightly up. Yeah, play around with that. They seem to be flowing in. They seem to be kind of coming in fine. But on the evening, when the traffic's coming the opposite direction, there's less vehicle traffic going out this way. So it might be okay in a weird way. It might be okay, but what I'd also could do is allow this lane to also turn in that direction. So it's not just one lane being the dominant lane, being the only lane. We'll see. It's just one of those things, boys. It's one of those things where we'll never win. There's going to be an issue somewhere, and I can over-engineer it, and then you end up with something like this. Which does work. Oh my goodness me, what's going on over here? Is it because they've got to slow down to make that turn? What if I made this then slightly... I mean, I can't do it because we lose the bridge aesthetics. We do lose the bridge aesthetics right now, so... Bit of an issue. I mean, it's only because they're slowing down. I mean, it's gone. The issue's gone. It was only there for like a split second. So I need to calm down, don't I? I need to chill my beans right now. Right, a few cars over there. That car park full. We knew that was going to happen anyway. We knew that was going to happen. Is there a few extra ones I can maybe squeeze in? Oh, that was almost the perfect size. Why did the developers make it... If I wanted to create the perfect grid touching, they make the car park lean over by one more. How dare they? How dare they right now, these fools? But then at the same time, I could drop a car park there. I could drop a car park here and then make them walk. Let me drop in one here. It's just a larger version of that, is what it is. We bulk up the road a bit more because I like to enclose everything. That's just an issue that I'm dealing with every day. And that's elevated and it shouldn't be. Wow, how did that mess up? How did that mess up, boys? And then we just get the path crossing over there. And that becomes a nice walkable area for more vehicles to park in here. And it also benefits the water treatment plant as well. So everyone wins in a weird way. Everyone wins. I mean, it does mean they've got to drive the long way around, but... Tis what it is. Here's what it is. Right, we should eventually soon start seeing the vehicle traffic making its way back. This is quite the bulky road, isn't it? So it'll be interesting to see where the issues then lie within it. Worst case scenario, we just go back to the roundabout and then just suck it up. Second scenario is we keep it as it is, but we look at other forms of transport that could be potentially beneficial for moving people around. I mean, we did a bunch of this stuff over here, didn't we? With the, where is it? The harbour. And the boats and whatnot, which did work out. So, 5 PM is fastly approaching. We are starting to see vehicles now making their move. And you can now start to see this starting to build itself up. So, the issue is, they can all turn off on 2 lanes, but they're merging into the 1 lane to make that turn. So, if I say to them, you know what? On the way back in, well, I'll allow you to do that turn as well. That will then push 2 vehicles through the junction. Whereas, you know, making that left turn, or for them it's a left turn. 2 vehicles then can then make that left turn where previously it was only 1. So, the backlog is real. The backlog is real. But I could also, right, filter more vehicles through if... this is a highway road, isn't it? Yeah, so a 5-lane asymmetrical. But going that way. That's a tough one. I think what I'm going to have to do is create a quick little split here. To make this... There, that's what I needed it to do. Right, to delete you. Right. That there is 5 lanes. Pull you in a bit. Okay. So the idea is, this now has a dedicated lane, right? But you got the bulk of the traffic coming out. So theoretically, I need to delete you, but change it to where these 2 lanes are the lanes that are coming from that way. Obviously, got to flip that round. Right, that hasn't worked out, has it? I need that to be the turn-off lane. And that's now quite difficult to implement. That's going to be very difficult right now to implement. Like, super difficult. Alright, move you over here. So I wanted to go into the inner lanes, but like I said, it's going to be very difficult in this game. So let me just keep it to that then. This could be the wrong thing to do because of how, you know, the lane's now going to work. And why can I not select? Ugh. Right, that's going to run into there. That's fine. I've now got lane connection stuff that I got to sort out on this. We might have to scrap ourselves back. So remove all... I got to redo this whole thing now. So get rid of you. That's your straight ahead one. Right, that's your dedicated turn. Oh, no, turn that off. That's your dedicated turn there. That's your turn going that way. That turns that way. That's your dedicated turn that way. This one I only turn that way. That comes from that direction. So let me fast forward because this is going to mess things up slightly. And it will allow some vehicles to turn over. But then the vehicles that stay in these lanes can make the right turn. Actually, that might work out. That might work out in a weird way. But it's the whole crissy-crossy that they've got to do, which ruins everything. It does ruin it all. Okay, I think I might know how to fix this. I think I might know how to fix this. So, 2 lanes. I pick here. We go there. Right. Forget it. I'm going to pull it back to technically what it was. Wait, how many lanes is that? That's 4-lane asymmetrical? 4-lane asymmetrical? What are you talking about? Right, pull it back to what it was. Okay. I think I figured out how I can do it a lot better. That goes into there. So that, we still get the same thing then going on. This is what we originally had. Alright, slightly raise you. There we go. That sorts that out. That's what we originally had. The lanes coming in. I needed the dedicated turn-off lane to make the right turn. So I think what I'm just going to have to do is just keep it as simplistic as I can. And then have the fine lane asymmetrical go like that. That's I mean, it's what I should have done in the first place. So this is just my way of doing it without having to implement roundabouts. So no straight ahead, unfortunately. 2 to the left, 2 to the right. You don't go straight over, you're dedicated. You're straight over and that way. You're that way. You're that way. You're straight over and that way. And that's all it needs to be, right? That's all it needs to be. So without overcomplicating it, like I've just done right now, does this now flow a little bit better? Now, I have a sneaky suspicion then, if you're coming from this way and you go round, you've got to merge over 3 lanes to make that right turn. That's the issue you fall under in that trap. So, it's one of those things. why I'm trying to avoid the roundabout is because you can't do lane connectors on a roundabout to decide what lane people go in. Whereas a normal junction, you can. So the roundabout, I can just add more lanes. I can do slippy slips and all that jazz, and it's great. But I'm such limited on the space and area. I think that will be fine. Okay, I think that will be fine. We've seen the demand that came through, and it's since gone very quickly. So I think it will be okay. I think it will be okay. My only issue is these guys here have to merge 3 lanes to switch over. So, yeah. All part of the fun. I mean, in quiet times, they can do it no problem. So, yeah. We'll see. We will see. Anyway, boys, I think we'll end it here. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please smash that like button down below. Subscribe if you are new around here, so you do get notified when more episodes do come out. Yeah. Too soon for airports? Let me know in the comment section down below. But until next time, I'll see you all soon. So, goodbye.